Y'all gotta suffer through this while I'm on vacation. That's why y'all see me in this same shirt for the last couple of days. Your boy, man, I done recorded all these videos and any home. We gotta painfully sit through Joy Reid again, y'all, because if I don't show this video, you won't have the context. Ugh.
Hey, fam. Okay, I just gotta say it. Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're gonna look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're gonna look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber. And she looked crazy over there. But shut the door behind her. You really are gonna look crazy being on that side, given the cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Devi Harris. She's about to make history. She's about to become the first woman president. She brings together the African American community, the AAPI community, younger people. She is a whole meme. And I'm going to explain to y'all the fall of the coconut tree is a whole West Indian thing. She brings together all of the aspects of the culture. HBCUs, she's a Howard graduate. The Divine Nine, she's an AKA. She is a woman of color extraordinaire. She would be the first, person from HBCU, regular real world, to be president of the United States, in addition to being the first woman president, in addition to being the first black woman president, in addition to being the first AAPI president. She's bringing it all. And very importantly, she will be the first woman president after the fall of Roe v. Wade. A woman who brings women back to power after having our power stripped from us by 6 far right wingers on the Supreme Court, including one woman who turned on us. Baby, this is a cultural moment. Don't be on the wrong side of history. Don't find yourself on that lonely side, because you're going to look real crazy over there with Kid Rock.
It's so annoying how this woman keeps questioning people's blackness based on whether or not somebody's gonna vote for Kamala Harris. Dog, pretty much she ain't doing nothing but what Joe Biden did. You ain't black whether or not you ain't black if you don't know whether or not you voting for me or a Republican. I can't remember the quote exactly. I was fumbling to play on it. But anyhow, something along the lines of that. You ain't black if you ain't voting for me, which I'm a Democrat, right? Come on, man. This sentiment is old. It's a horrible take. But I'm sorry, Democrats. I'm sorry. Not all women are casting their votes based on skin color.
So we're supposed to support Kamala because she's a woman. I was 16 years old when I was groomed, beaten, drugged, coerced, manipulated, and brainwashed by a black woman. So forgive me for being conditioned to elect officials based on their policies and not just what's between their legs. Kamala had one job next to one of the most powerful positions in the world, and instead of protecting our border, she's allowed terrorists and criminals to come into our country and kill our citizens. And now the media wants us to forget who is in charge of securing the border? I call it the woman privilege. The ability to be a complete snake and no one think otherwise. Kind of like Ghislaine Maxwell, huh?
The black elite is crashing out. They crashing out. They don't know what to do because black people have finally woken up. You will no longer hoodwink us with these identity politics that y'all been doing for 90 years. You got Stephen A. Smith interviewing Roland Martin.
Quote unquote perfect candidate. But you know what she is at this moment in time? The best the Democratic Party's got. She's certainly better than Joe Biden. I don't believe she'd be better than Michelle Obama, but that ain't an option. And so that makes her the best we've got. And when you consider her prosecutor's background, when you consider her intellect, when you consider how feisty she can be, when you consider how she could pick Donald Trump apart in terms of the lies that he may tell, and she's younger.
You got Angela Rye crying like a baby because she just cannot believe that they don't have a black vote signed, sealed, and motherfucking delivered.
Post article came out about black people in Detroit not wanting to vote for Joe Biden and potentially voting for Donald Trump. When the uncommitted option came out, there were 100,000 plus people that voted uncommitted.
Say you're a shill for the Democrats.
But I think, Tiff, that's their perspective. Yeah. And I think everything that's a different perspective isn't nuts. Like sometimes when people are so hurt and damaged, they go and do the other extreme thing, and it is not okay and it's not cool, but it doesn't just happen politically. And I think it is irresponsible. Like, fine, you guys didn't like the video. Cool. That's not the point. If we're only talking to ourselves, that little bubble is going to continue to shrink until we suffocate.
And you got black immigrant Joy Reid trying to tell black America what the culture is. Baby, what is the culture? Explain to me what the culture is, because you ain't even the culture.
I just gotta say it. Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're gonna look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're gonna look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber. And she looked crazy over there. But shut the door behind her. You really are going to look crazy being on that side, given the cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Debbie Harris.
I want to say this. A lot of black elites, black media, black celebrities, really celebrities in general, the media in general, they have vested interests in who they're trying to tell you to vote for, okay? The black elites that are pandering, they do not live in your neighborhoods. So they are not suffering from the disadvantages in your neighborhoods. They do not send their kids to the schools that are underfunded in your neighborhood that lack the resources or quality teachers, right? Right. These are multi-millionaires in the lack of quality health care that we get. They have private health care. I say this to say, them telling us what's the best thing for us is irrelevant because they don't live with us. They don't live among us. They don't experience life as we do. So why would we listen to them and go along with them and what they say to do?
I'm telling y'all what, I'm really just a narrator right now. Like legit, I don't think I have anything to add of substance that these women ain't already said or about to say. I'm telling you. Joy Reid, this is what I tell people, don't just look at mainstream media as your, center point for all of America's thoughts. I'm telling you, because mainstream media is there to push a certain agenda. They're there to push a certain narrative, to try to push you in a certain direction. They're not there to actually present the information and give you the opportunity to think for yourself, but they want to think for you. And that's exactly what Joy Reid was attempting to do. But hey, again, let me shut up. I'm gonna let the black women speak about Kamala Harris. Black Americans are warning other black Americans about Kamala Harris. I've never seen anything like this before.
Black folks, every time I turn around, I just get more and more sick of y'all. What in the hell are y'all celebrating? Y'all haven't seen Camilla this entire time. Camilla did the same exact thing the average do when they know they're about to need you. Figure out a way to get in contact with you. She threw up a barbecue. Been getting tricked for years with food. She allowed y'all to drink up all the Czech sodas that y'all wanted and take all the pictures with her that y'all wanted, showing nothing but gums and teeth. Half of the photos that y'all was able to take with this woman wouldn't have dare been captured in a photo with half of y'all if she didn't need you. She wouldn't dare be even caught standing beside some of y'all if she didn't need you.
Amen.
Y'all celebrating because she was able to raise up millions of dollars in 24 hours when we got sisters and brothers out here in the world can barely provide food on the
which by the way comes from Act Blue, which by the way comes from an anonymous hidden donor, which by the way the people whom names are being used and addresses are being used don't even know that they're donating thousands of dollars. In addition to that, they don't even know that they're donating thousands of times. In addition to that, they don't even know that they're donating possibly, you know, up to 100 times in one day.
Out here in the world can barely provide food on the table for their families. People out here in the world hurting, and y'all in celebration mode over this fuckery. Honestly, I think the best thing for all of us to do is do like our grandparents taught us. Stop tending to other people's house and worry about our own house. Some of y'all are too focused on the White House. In fact, some of y'all are just entirely too grown. You actually seen plenty presidents make it in and out the White House with absolutely no change being made after they depart. So I don't know why some of y'all grown ass is celebrating like y'all doing. You should be crying. You should be actually focused more on your finances, because by now you should know that all of this is about money. And if you ain't got none, you don't even matter. Your vote don't even matter. Your opinion don't even matter. Your celebration don't even matter. And let's just all stop deeming people to be the best fit for us just because we simply share the same skin color as them.
Shout out to these beautiful queens out here. Sheesh. Can anybody tell me? Okay, I'll probably transition into this too quick, right? I'll just say this before I even get back to that statement. It's crazy how Kamala uses the black card or the woman card when it's convenient, because I remember her running as an Indian American. Can anybody, now I go back to the question, can anybody tell me when Kamala Harris transitioned to a black woman? Because in 2016, this is what she said.
Yeah, well, the Democratic Party for a very long time, not just this election cycle, has been doing a lot of active outreach around South Asians, around the API in general, and will continue to do it. I mean, what we know in particular when you're talking about the South Asian community, we're talking about the Indian community more specifically, it is a growing community in the United States in terms of its voting bloc, in terms of its participation, and I think the party knows that and knows that this is part of our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
You could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Again, what can I add to this video that these women haven't already added? And I mean, Kamala Harris quite literally just, she did it to herself, y'all.